The Walkmen, bows and arrows. You might ask, what's in it for me? Well, having a drink and talking about one of my favorite albums. We are Blenderstyle.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Bows plus arrows.
So I've been listening to this band for a long time. I really enjoy this album. They have quite a few different albums, and but this is obviously my favorite. So I just wanted to bring it to you guys and see what you guys thought about it.
So this was released in 2004.
Yeah.
From what I read, the band, it went on hiatus in 2011 or 13.
That sounds about right. I would say my relationship with this band is very much so within this album.
Okay.
Have you been listening to it since then, like 2004 or whatever?
Oh yeah, I still have this on CD and I still listen to it on. It's I enjoyed this album very much.
I think I read that it was like a post-punk revival, pioneer. These guys, is that true?
They kind of hit during that band. Yeah, so they kind of hit during that like you said, they kind of hit during that post-punk revival, post-modern rock revival kind of thing. They, from what I understand, are grouped in with the bands.
The bands, which
is my hatred of all bands that came out around this time, whether they're good or not.
Most of them are indie.
Yeah, there was a lot of indie, and I think that was the issue. Is a lot of those bands that weren't good got big when they shouldn't have, and it ruined the name for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, just so with anything, when something kind of gets popular or a bang or something like that,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I very much so love this album for me.
What do you love about it?
It feels like a Bob Dylan a little bit more drunk.
Okay.
Wow.
It's like a haze.
Yeah, me too.
He's definitely crooning like a Bob Dylan or whatever, I get those vibes.
He's got that real sloppy vocal style going on.
The vocals are pretty killer on this.
Yeah, I would say they are too. This definitely has a very New York sound, to me also. I believe this band is from New York and it sounds like New York to me. I've never been there, but I really love the guitars in this, the reverb that is on this, and how they can get things really loud and intense. And,
there's a lot of dynamic
bring
range
it down
in the guitar on this.
Within the band and I just really love the vibe. So anyways, I'm going to stop talking about it.
So on No Christmas While I'm Talking, they do that where just the song doesn't even have any beats in it,
mm-hmm.
or any guitar riff. It's just crescendo and it vibes up and down. The first time I listened to this album was a really weird experience because the first song I think kind of sucks. And then it's by the end of it, I'm that was a good album. The song order is really, really well done. But they're doing shit on here. I'm you just crescendo on a whole song and it works.
But they do it on multiple songs.
Well, and then they're very repetitive. They'll loop the same drum bits over it. And it usually it kind of bugs me, but sometimes it really works. The drumming on it's good, but it is repetitive. But the drum sounds excellent.
Mm-hmm.
It almost sounds live. The whole album kind of has a live sound to it.
It very much so. It sounds like it's ricocheting off of brick walls, a 4-room brick wall.
You could hear the room they recorded in for sure on this.
You can hear the booze on his voice. I'm telling you, I saw this band live once, and I'm going to see this band again. They got back together. They broke up, and they got back together. And I'm very pumped to see them. Me and Heidi are going to go see them.
Their first show back together was March this year, I think it was?
That sounds about right.
Okay.
But I'm very excited to see them, to see them live again. And when I saw him, he was drinking a Heineken. And that's just, I'm not, you know me, I like Heinekens.
You do like Heinekens.
Is this their best album?
For me, definitely, yeah.
I think I saw that this made the album of the year list in 2004.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a nominee or something for album of the year
versus various lists, right? We're not going to do a album of the year list for 2004, I don't think, but we will do a best of 2023. So subscribe, check that out.
So I agree with you. The first song on this I hated. The second song, The Rat,
banger.
It was probably the best album or the best song on the album to me. I also read somewhere that The Rat was the only song on this album that was they brought in an outside producer to do.
That kind of shows
all
a little
the rest
bit.
were kind of self-produced.
I think The Rat might be one of the best songs ever written.
Really?
Oof.
It's killer.
You can't tell me you haven't felt this. Like I
Nathan?
hear like I don't know the lyrics and everything, and like I can hear like the kind of the anger, the frustration, and also like the being vulnerable and like I don't know.
That comes across for sure. It's pretty emotional sounding.
Yeah, The Rat is like a huge song for them, and you know I love that song. I really love that song, but this album is also so good, and I feel like sometimes this song takes away from that album. That's why I almost didn't even bring it up, but you have to bring The Rat up.
I think it works. It does, like you're saying. That makes sense that it's like produced outside.
Yeah, it has a completely different sound from the rest of the album.
But it works. I'm glad they didn't make it the first song.
Yeah,
I think it would have spoiled the whole album.
I agree.
I think the fact that it comes in with such
they spoiled it on the second track. You're telling
well,
me?
no,
I think it works.
I think because they came in with such a weak track, it set the tone for the rest of it.
Well, for me, the album's like weak, good, weak,
yeah,
good.
And
then it ends really well.
It doesn't carry. My biggest complaint about this album is that tone. They have this tone in the back of every song. It starts off on the first one, and it just carries through monotonously through every track. And it's a different tone in each track, but every track except for maybe two tracks, they have this constant tone in the background.
That's why it sounds live to me, I think.
And it just bugs the crap out of me. Like, I was like, what is wrong with this? And I don't know, it was just something about that. It was just this tone that just...
It's noisy. It's a bar band. It's
well, but I don't even know if it's that, because I like noise and I like bar bands and stuff. I think it's because it's a continuous tone, and even though the tempos and the pacing of like the rest of the songs change and stuff, that tone carries the whole time, and it just, to me, makes it seem like there's no tempo shift and no change, even though there is. It's just that's all I hear in it.
Somebody's waiting for me at home.
That's so good.
Somebody's waiting for me.
Drums on that are great too.
I should have. No, I'm sorry, dude. This is a rager, guys. So what would? Yeah.
I also feel like like Nathan said, there's a drunk vocal style about this, which is kind of cool at times, but at times I'm kind of like, I don't know what the dude said,
right?
But it's decent. I mean, all that being said, I think.
Not to say he's drunk, you know what I mean?
No, but it has that kind of like sloppy delivery. But it's not like sloppy in the fact that you don't understand it. It's just sloppy in the fact that there's just some weird vocal pitch changes that he puts in there that you're like, why would you put it there?
It's very Bob Dylan.
Yeah. So I find that kind of ironic. I don't disagree with you that this is a pretty good album. It's not my style. I don't think I would ever listen to it again, but I got to give it credit where credit's due, and it's actually pretty decent. There's some catchy stuff on here. I give it a 3.2.
Yeah.
I think my biggest complaint, like I said, is it's an instant turnoff because they're called the Walkmen, and I have this extreme hatred for
it's like grunge music.
Band that has the in front of it. But also, that tone bugged the crap out of me. I love The Rat. I love the fact that they brought in an outside producer, and like, I feel like there's a lot of energy in that song that is lacking through the rest of this album. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I got to give credit where credit's due. It's a decent album. It's catchy.
If I gave a rating on this based on just my first listen, I think I would definitely give it a higher rating. But as I kept re-listening to it, it got really kind of repetitive. I give it a 3.0 out of 5. It's good, but it just The Rat is great, and then the rest of it is just kind of meh for me. But I do think it works great as an album, and it's definitely worth someone's time to check it out because it's interesting. Like, it flows well.
Yeah,
it's not like a complete dud. It's just not my vibe, I think, is what it is. I appreciate it a lot. But yeah, just a 3 for me. Sorry, Nathan.
No, that's fine, man. That's kind of why I wanted to hear what you guys had to say. But this is a 4.5, dude. This is a banger. I love this album. I'll always listen to this album. I'm pretty sure there was a time in my life where I listened to like only this album. So
is this have like some emotional attachment from a time in your life?
Yeah, some sentimental stuff.
Or is it just something you really like
I think
that
it's
much?
We're gonna have therapy right now.
I think No, a friend actually introduced me to this, and he's a friend that actually introduced me to a lot of different music at that around that time too, and it was just like it was an important time in my life. So like this album was around. Yeah, I guess so. But I'm not necessarily emotionally attached to like these songs.
But it came apart in a pivotal part of your life.
Oh yeah, dude. Like I remember many nights just being drunk, singing like everything off this. We are Blenderstyle, and that was the Walkmen, Bows and Arrows. Thanks for hanging out. Subscribe, like, comment, talk shit. Be a rat.
I think they're banking on holidays because they got a song called Christmas, New Year's Eve, North Pole.
What holiday is North Pole?